Here we go. And we are live. Welcome, family, to the Sunday Rundown. In this show, we're going to discuss travel news from all over the world. Mainly, we're going to be focusing on the countries of Colombia, Brazil, Dominican Republic, and Thailand. All right, guys. So we got a really good show for you guys today. We're going to give you a lot of good information. As you can see, the title of the show is Travel Worth It in 2021. We had a lot of changes recently, a lot of different mandates as far as the vaccines are concerned. That's going to really alter your travel around the world, depending on what country you're going to. So, guys, you really want to be abreast of the news, especially recent news. What you really want to do is you want to check the travel embassy and all the travel alerts. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you as much information as possible. Now, with this information, you still have to do your own research because things change very fast in these countries. It's not like in America where they make a law and it's set in stone and that's what we're going to know. You know, with these governments, these foreign governments, it's a lot of changes goes on really quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and get this a quick commercial break. I appreciate you guys coming on in. After this commercial, we're going to get right into it because we got a lot of good news, man. We got a lot of crazy stuff happening in the world today. I know there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in America, but, you know, it's definitely a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world today. So with this quick commercial break, we're going to be right back. Welcome to the show. Let's get the ball rolling. Blackmen Travels merch store where you can purchase. Fellas, don't forget to check out the Blackmen Travels merch store where you can purchase BMT t-shirts, tank tops, travel quote tees, and much more. Stay travel motivated, my friends. Join the movement. Hey, family, if you want to connect with your fellow travelers around the globe and get early access to content as well as private events and merch store discounts, then make sure you join the private Blackmen Travels 2.0 Facebook group. All right. There you go. So, family, do me a favor. Check out the Blackmen Travels merch store when you get a chance. And if you haven't already joined the group, make sure you join the Blackmen Travels 2.0 Facebook group. I want to give a special shout out before I get started on the news today and let three more people come in the room. I want to give a special shout out to the Blackmen's Option. They are currently out here in Rio de Janeiro, where I'm at. I was invited to their welcome dinner, and I really appreciate that. And I love the way all our travel groups get along really good, man. These guys are official. They focus pretty much on Brazil and the Rio de Janeiro area. And it was a really good meetup, man. It was a really good dinner. The food was amazing. And we had a good conversation. And it's one thing, man, that I love about these groups is that, you know, in these spaces, you know, brothers really don't get the chance to like discuss certain things, you know, without outside influence and stuff like that. So it was good. Very good, brother. Shout out to Al Green, shout out to Eric, shout out to Raphael, shout out to all the other guys in the Blackmen's Option. I want to give them a special shout out for inviting me to the welcome dinner, man. It was very special. I did a little speech, you know, a lot of guys got up and talked, and it was good. It was a really good vibe, man. I appreciate that. I also want to give a shout out to Paradise Life. Shout out to Flip Flop. They're out here as well. Everybody's meeting up. You know, it's good to see American guys, you know, overseas, all getting along, you know, exchanging information. It's a beautiful thing, man. So if you're in Rio, you know, you can hit me up or hit one of these groups up. You know, we out here definitely celebrating and having a good time. Now, let me go ahead and get into the news of Colombia. What's happening, everybody? What's happening? You know, now Colombia, it was the biggest. I'm gonna show you the clips in a moment, man. This is one of the biggest criminal heists in the century, they're saying, all right, in Medellin, Colombia. Actually, it was the neighborhood of Manila, which is not too far of the gym I worked out in. All right, so this is give you guys some context around this heist because, you know, it was big. It was a 30-man heist, all right, in Medellin, Colombia, in the Manila neighborhood, guys. All right, 30-man heist. They try to rob a gold factory or a gold foundry in that neighborhood. Now, what happened was you had two of the traffic cops. If you ever been to Medellin, you'll see these guys. They have police officers that specifically focused on, you know, like the traffic situation out there because there's a lot of traffic in Medellin, a lot of motor conchos, a lot of stuff going on. So they have a specific sector. So what these guys did was they put on these uniforms. The criminals put on the uniforms, and they started directing traffic away from the foundry, from the gold factory. Then they smashed a dump truck into the gate to open the gate into the metal door. And the men, you see the video, you're gonna be like, "This is crazy." It's something right out of a movie, out of Heist, out of Heat, the movie Heat, one of my favorite movies, right? So they go in there. It's like 30 guys. Well, I think it's like maybe 12 or 15 that actually have guns that actually going in. The rest of the guys were going to pick them up. And the heist was almost good, but it was spoiled by one particular robber that stuck his head out too early. He came out a little too early, and some police happened to just be riding by, and they saw him. They was like, "Okay, wait a minute, this ain't right." And it spoiled like a multi-million-dollar heist. So I'm gonna show you this guy's video. Everybody been sending me different videos about this heist. You know, they caught a lot of the guys. They did caught like 11 of them. They got away with like 3 gold bars, if I'm not mistaken. And it was a big shootout and everything like that. So there's plenty of videos going around the internet. I'm gonna show you guys this clip right now. All right, so that's the robber right there. He's coming out. Got out a little too early. Stuck his head out. You know, they probably should have had a plainclothes lookout. And then it happened to be a motorcycle riding up, just randomly doing a routine drive-by. And they saw that. And, of course, they alerted everybody else. So let me go ahead and play the video real quick, family. They're shooting at the police. We're out of heat, right? They popping off big time.
Carlo!
See the police right there, pulling up. Wild Wild West is right. All right, so a few minutes later, they had a lot of the guys. Now, some of the guys that was arrested were actually not part of the robbery. Come to find out, some of them was running from the gunfire. So they arrested a few that actually was not involved. Now let me. That's the fake police officer right there, or the fake traffic cop, as you can see. All right. Here's another angle of them catching the guys right there. You know, that's the police pretty much arresting a good amount of the robbers, basically. That's another angle right there.
We gonorrea.
One more angle.
Papi, mero fleteo, papi, aquí en Las Vegas, con largos y todo.
So they were on it, man. The police got there pretty quickly. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they said that that actual foundry actually has like a specialized alarm system where if a button is touched, they like right there. The cops come in a hurry because it's so much gold there. So they was already in the area, possibly, and they was doing just a drive-by. And unfortunately, well, I ain't gonna say unfortunately, of course, but they got the robbers. So that was the big news coming out of Medellin. But the other news, we got more news. I'm gonna share this article with you guys. Give me a second here. It's in the same. Let me see here. All right. So the biggest news coming out of Medellin right now is the vaccine mandates. All right. Let me go ahead and put this on the screen. Give me 1 second, family. Here we go. All right. So as you see, the title of the article is Colombia to ban anti-vaxxers from public venues. Now, I've been talking to a lot of friends, a lot of Colombian friends out there. Some of the people are a little upset. As you can see, a lot of the population has been somewhat vaccinated. About 90% have already been vaccinated. But right now, we're not sure if this is going to apply to tourists. So what they're saying is basically, if you try to go to a bar or a restaurant or a public venue like a sports game or anything like that, soccer game or something like that, you will have to present a vaccine card. Now, this can affect your travel if you're not vaccinated. If you don't have a vaccine card, where am I at here? Okay, yeah, we here. If you don't have a vaccine card, this can really affect your travel. You won't be able to get any bars, any restaurants. And that's like a major pull for Medellin, Colombia. The bars and restaurants are amazing in the Provenza and the Parquilleras area. So that's going to affect a lot of travelers. Now, like I said before, they're not sure if they're going to ask tourists for the actual vaccine cards. What I'm hearing from some of my Colombian friends is they don't believe that, since a lot of people don't speak English there, they're not going to really know what they're looking at anyway. So it's a possibility that it won't be, the tourists might not be affected by it, but they might be affected by it. So if you are planning a trip out there to Medellin, Colombia, you definitely want to do your due diligence and make sure. I think it's after the 16th. It goes into effect, and there's going to be another something coming else down the line on November 30th. So I don't know if you want to schedule your dates around that time so you can kind of make sure, hey, if I'm going to go out there, am I going to be able to go out? Am I going to be able to participate in the nightlife if I don't have a vaccine card? If you have a vaccine card, you should be just fine. All right. Let me highlight some of the rooms before we move on to the next country. All right. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to David Renee, Global Paper in the house. Don't know music. What's going on? You know what? Brazil, you still need a PCR test. Most of these countries, you're going to have to get a PCR test, guys, within 3 days of your travel. So that's pretty much, I'm going to say, for the majority, that's going to be mandatory. That you're going to take a PCR test before you get to the country. You're going to have to present it to them as well in the airport, all right, before you even get on the plane. All right, do you need vaccinations? No, you don't need vaccinations to travel to Colombia, but it is a possibility that you will need a vaccine card to actually enter any of the venues, all right? So if you don't plan on getting vaccinated, you might want to think about that. Now, it's also in the Dominican Republic. They're saying the same situation. You have to present a vaccine card to get in certain businesses and restaurants. Now, what I've been hearing is they're not targeting the tourists with the vaccine cards, because a lot of them probably don't have it on you. A lot of them are not going to understand it anyway if you show it to them on your phone, because a lot of them don't speak English. So what I'm hearing right now, at least in the DR, is it's not really affecting the tourists too much. So I'm not sure the same is going to apply out there in Medellin, Colombia, family. All right. Mr. G, Zero Down. What's up? What's going on, brother? He says, I'm fully vaccinated. Oh, Pathfinder says, I'm fully vaxxed. We'll be there in a couple of months. All right. Cartagena. Now, that's a good question from Reese Jeezy 40. He says, that apply to Cartagena? From what I'm hearing from my Colombian friends out there, shout out to my homegirl, D. She was telling me that every area is a little different. You know, every city has its own little governance. So she's not sure how it's going to affect the tourist areas. You know, like they get the tourist money rolling in. So it's a possibility that on the 16th, we'll find out if this applies to tourists or not. So you might want to schedule your trip around it. I saw some of my friends, they were partying this weekend with no problems. But like I said, it's not the 16th yet. So we'll see. I'm gonna get some more information. I have a lot of friends and family out there in Medellin, Colombia, that's going to be giving me updates about that. Now, the thing about Colombia is things change a lot, you know, so we don't know. They might renege on that. You know, I think it's supposed to be a ruling on the 16th. It's supposed to go into effect on the November 16th, and then something else is supposed to go into effect on the 30th. So they might rescind it. The majority of the local population has been vaccinated. from you can see from the chart I have here, the majority of them have been vaccinated. So I'm not sure if this is going to be even know why they're doing this, or are they just particularly targeting tourists? I'm not sure yet. Okay. Shout out to Cortez Smith in the house. What's going on, Cortez? Yeah, family, hit that like button. Hit that like button when you come in the room. Almost forgot. Do I got my Indie Animals video? I do have my Indie Animals video. So matter of fact, let me check on the lights real quick. Let me make sure. Give me a second, family. Let me see how many likes we got in the room. Let me see. Hold on. Give me a minute. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Hold on. I don't want to play this Indie Animals video before we get to the next section. All right. We got 21 likes, man. Let's get them likes up, family. Let's get them likes up. All right. My guy says he's going on the 28th. Where you going on 28th, bro? Where you going on 28th? Yeah, you do need a PCR test. Let me get that straight. You do need a PCR test to return to the country as well. All right. All right. So, as many of you already know, Thailand and Asia are starting to open back up. Now, Thailand came out recently saying that they're opening it back up for tourists with some certain stipulations in place. So I'm going to share this article with you guys because it's kind of, I'm not going to say it's complicated, but, you know, they have a lot of little programs. It's called a sandbox program that you have to abide by in order to, you know, go in Thailand. Now, I will say this before. The bars and restaurants are not serving alcohol here, okay? So that's the big ploy. If you want to go to Thailand, just keep in mind, right now at this point, they are not serving alcohol anywhere, all right? Let me go ahead and share this article with you guys real quickly. Let me share this article with you guys. And hopefully I can get some boots on the ground out there. I think I got a guy in the chat right now that's in Thailand. So hopefully he can give us a boots on the ground update. Shout out to Buck Travel in the building. Says putting boots on the ground in Peru soon. That's what's up. That's what's up. All right, let me share this article real quick, family. Hold on. Give me a moment. Okay. All right, Justin Clark. All right. Let me see. Here we go. One moment, family. We're almost there. There we go. All right. Here we go. So this is a news update, November 1st, 2021. Now, in my opinion, I probably will hold off for right now on Thailand. As much as I want to go to Thailand, I'm probably going to hold off, you know, probably to January. They say it's going to be some changes down the line. They're probably going to be opening up bars and restaurants again toward the end of the year. So I would personally wait on that. But if you just got to be out there, here's the program that you have to abide by if you're thinking about going to Thailand. All right. So let's go down this little sheet right here. Now, guys, if I'm interpreting anything wrong, you can feel free to correct me. But you can get this information at the ThaiEmbassy.com. You can find this information. You can interpret it yourself. So here we go. Now, if you're an American citizen, for the most part, you're on an eligible country. So you can go ahead and get on in there. There's only a few countries that can't go to Thailand right now. For the most part, it's about 30 countries that can enter the country. All right. Most of the countries that we are in, at least. So, guys, here we go. So, if you are vaccinated, all right, at least was that 14 days prior to traveling. So, they have to be recently vaccinated, basically. You can go there without any quarantine. What's going to happen is you have to take a test, a PCR test at the hotel, and you have to stay at the hotel for one night, basically, if you're fully vaccinated. So, you have to take a PCR test on arrival, basically, and it should come back between 24 to 48 hours. All right. So that right here gives you no quarantine. You have to stay. You only have to stay for one night in one of these specialized hotels. Now, in every case, you have to provide medical insurance with a minimum coverage of $50,000. Now, I've been seeing on these websites where you can get COVID-19 travel insurance. All right. So I don't think it's really expensive to get a policy, but they want to make sure you covered just in case you contract COVID over there. All right, guys. So if you are not fully vaccinated, All right, you have to spend 7 nights in one of these specialized hotels in this what they call the sandbox area. All right, so you must wait for a PCR test results at the hotel before traveling for 7 days. So let me see if that fully vaccinated. That's fully vaccinated too. Okay. So I believe that's if you vaccinated that before 14 days. You have to do that. So 7 days. That's a lot. There's a lot to do. And Thailand's a long flight. So you have to really, I've seen a few guys do this. I don't know that they probably familiar with that area. They probably know how to move out there already. They probably veterans. But if you're a new guy going out there, unless you got people out there, maybe some BMT members out there, I would really think about that. All right. Now, if you're not vaccinated at all, if you don't want to do the vaccination, you have to spend 10 nights in the specialized reservation at the AQ Hotel. All right. So I'm not sure how much that's going to cost. I heard it was a little expensive. Not sure. Like I said, in every case, in every category, you have to have medical insurance with a minimum coverage of $50,000. All right. So let's see here. Let's scroll down. COVID-19 test result before departure. Okay, all of them require 72 hours. So you have to take a COVID test before and when you arrive, it looks like. Okay, 19 results. All right. So yeah, that's a lot of stipulations. There's a lot of stipulations right there. Let me see what we at here. All right. So family, like I said before, you can go to that go to the Thai Embassy website and you can see if it's worth traveling out there. Now, you only have a couple more months in the year. Maybe a lot of things are going to lighten up by then. You have things set in stone. Right now, shout out to my dude Cardell and the BMT crew. We're trying to see where we're going to use group trips at. But first, we got to make sure that we know what's going on as far as all these vaccine mandates that's going around the world. We know some guys are they might be down with it, they might not. It's your body, your choice, in my opinion. So right now, it's like a little in limbo. If you want to travel, I would say right now I'm in Rio. There's no vaccine cards needed to go around the bars and restaurants. Rio is pretty much wide open. You do have to have a mask everywhere you go for the most part, probably besides the beach. When you enter most of these establishments, you're going to need a mask on, all right? So Rio is pretty much open right now. It's just going to be definitely going to be some changes out there in Medellin, Colombia. And as you can see in Thailand, it's a lot of changes going on there. They're opening it back up, but they're opening it back up very slowly. All right. I believe the COVID cases are going down. A lot of local populations are getting vaccinated, which is helping. So maybe by the beginning of the year, things might open back up. Hopefully the bars and restaurants, they're open in Thailand, but they're not serving alcohol right now. So, is it worth it? Shout out to Shelton Anderson for the $5 super chat. I really appreciate that. He says, good morning, bro. Thanks for all the great info. Yeah, man, most definitely. You know how guys are, man. They just say, hey, man, I'm going here. And, they might look at it a little news, or they might ask a friend of theirs. Their friend might not know. And the funny thing is, when it comes to news, especially overseas news, like I say, it's a lot of changes. Nothing's really set in stone like it is in America for the most part. So a lot of times the locals won't even know unless you ask them, hey man, what's going on out there? They'll find that information for you because they might not be sure. You gotta think when we live in America, we're not sure about all the new laws, in our country as well, unless they affect us directly. So in a lot of cases, you have to do your due diligence when doing research. And the best way to go about it is probably do a research online, look at some different articles, ask a few people out there, and they'll give you the information. Or you can check out this channel right here. Make sure you sub to the channel. We give a lot of good information here as well. I did an interview yesterday with my guy. Shout out to my dude, Rob Bowers of No Excuse Entertainment, No Excuse Travel. He's out there in Durban, South Africa. So that's a little different. He's traveling around the world. We're going to start a podcast called Passport Bros, man. So check those out. It's probably going to be during the week. We're trying to schedule it right now. So Rob travels all around the world. He has a very unbiased opinion. He's really cut and straight to the chase, no filter. So that's why I want to bring him on to the podcast. It's going to be a lot of good information. He's going to give you the real. And I'm going to be traveling around the world as well to give you guys some good news as well. Now, I will say this, despite it being a few setbacks, whether you take the card, whether you have the card to present or not, in some cases, if it's worth to you, if you just gotta get out the matrix, if you having a hard time, guys, find out the information of what's going on in that country, go out there, you probably still have a good time. All right. I don't know, because you got guys that don't drink alcohol. It's different for everybody. It's different, but right now, as you can see, a lot of these travel groups, Paradise Life, Blackmen's Option, it's a lot of us out here in Rio. So you might want to put Rio on the list. There's a lot of guys out there in Mexico as well. Like I say, it's a lot of guys out there in Medellin, Colombia, but Medellin, Colombia is going to have some changes. I haven't heard anything about Rio doing any vaccine mandates as of today. Not yet. All right. Let me get some of the comments. I'm not sure about the food. I heard the food in Thailand was good, though, bro. I heard the food in Thailand was good. Life of Bill, what up? What's going on, bro? In the building? Let me go ahead and hit this right quick. Got so many tabs open. Hold on. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, let me read this comment right here. There's some good information. He said, bros need to understand they have to go to the U.S. for 21 days before going to Thailand. They can't just go from Colombia or Brazil to Thailand. All right, so you have to be in America for 21 days, looks like. Okay, good information, bro. We appreciate that. Good information. Hold on, let me see. Because I actually have a guy out there in Thailand right now. I think Clark, you want to come on? He can give us some really good information if you go ahead and come on the show. All right. Yeah. Let me put that in preface now, because people are making comments that Colombia is wild like anybody else. Yeah, you got heists and robberies in America as well. The funny thing is, when you go out there, America has one of the best propaganda campaigns ever for around the world. You would think that, or they would think that there's no crime going on in America. Yes, there's a lot of crime going on in America. And when you show them American programming, you show them movies and TV shows, they just be like, okay, wait a minute. I thought America was this and that. I'm like, yeah, it's not, it's definitely got its good points. Of course, it's a world power. It's a very powerful country. We made it so, but it still has its problems too. So that was just one of them big, that's a big heist. A 30-man heist, that's a big heist. And that's why I wanted to cover it. That was something straight out of heat. Guys, guns blazing. They didn't hesitate at all to shoot at the police officers. No police were hurt. No police were shot or anything like that. Maybe they were using blanks. I'm not sure. But that was a big heist. And I wanted to cover that because I kept getting so many videos of saying, like, man, what's going on in Medellin? You see this heist? You see this big heist? I said, yeah, man, they tried to hit it. They tried to make a big lick, basically. And it didn't work out for them. It's funny. Out of 30 men, only one for the whole robbery. That's a lot of men to rob someplace. Okay, hold on. Shout out to my dude, Travis Bison Bull Tolliver. Shout out to you, bro. You got to come back on the show, man. He says, have you encountered any options to the PCR test, like the spit test? That PCR test is bad news. I believe you can take an antigen test as well. That's like a rapid test, but it's the same thing, though. You still stick it up your nose. So, yeah, I haven't really heard of anything about the saliva test, man. Unfortunately, no. All right, I will do that. I will drop a link. I will drop a link right now. Guys, if you come on the show, do me a favor, keep it clean. No cursing. If you have some good information, if you're in a foreign country right now, you can give us some good information about boots on the ground. If you just recently traveled during this pandemic, you can let us know how your travels were. You have a good time. Once again, I got a lot of guys coming down here in Rio. Rio is wide open. They're having a ball. I see a lot of guys in Colombia right now before the mandate happens. They're having a good time as well. So if you have a trip next week or two, you should be fine. Remember, these goes in on the 16th. Let me get, okay, here we go. Jay, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, Aaron? Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly fine.
All right, great. First off, let me just say I love what you're doing on YouTube. You're doing a great thing. Keep it up. I've been
Appreciate
watching
that.
you for about a year now, and if you got any questions about Thailand, just shoot them at me. I'll answer what I can.
Okay, yeah, most definitely, man. Most definitely. Are you currently in Thailand right now?
Yeah, I'm boots on the ground in Bangkok. I've been here for about 3 years. I've been traveling for about 15 years out of the military. So this is like my second stomping ground outside of Chicago.
Okay, nice. So tell us what's going on out there in Thailand right now, man.
Two corrections. You said something about alcohol not being served at some of the establishments.
Mm-hmm.
That is, they have different provinces here. Like we got 50 states, they got provinces, right? So
Okay.
based on what province you're in, they're going to allow alcohol to be served at that establishment.
Okay. Now, are they selling alcohol in is it Pattaya?
As far as I know, Pattaya is a ghost town. It's been shut down. All of the let me say, ladies of the night aren't there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They went back up north. So if you want to go anywhere, I would suggest going to Bangkok first. Bangkok is the city center. Everything's open. There's no curfew, and all of the establishments, they sell alcohol. But it depends, because we just got out of a curfew here. It was from 11 to 4 a.m. in the morning. Now there's no curfew. Most of the establishments are open. So if you're trying to come here, you need to come to Bangkok first.
Okay. Now tell us about the sandbox program. Can you explain that to us a little bit better?
As far as I understood it, all right, if you come to Thailand and you flying in through Phuket, Phuket is south of Bangkok, all right? So as far as I understood it, if you're staying in Phuket, they have a sandbox program where they pretty much have all the tourists stay there. And the thing about it is, when you're dealing with this program, they're going to have you go to the most expensive hotels to quarantine. That's why you shouldn't do it. You know what I mean? They're trying to finesse people. So when you get out there, they're going to be like, okay, you go to this hotel. Not only do you got to pay for that, you got to pay for PCR tests or whatever. It's best that you just come on your own accord outside of the sandbox program if you can. They got plenty of websites out here where you can look for a visa. You can look for a way to get out here without using the schemes they have here, because they're just trying to finesse you out of more money anyway.
Okay. Now, was you out there? Did you fly there recently, or you just live out there? You've been out there for a minute.
I've been out here for a minute. I've been out here for about 5 years. I was here before COVID kicked off, but like I said, I've been traveling ever since I was 18. So I've been traveling throughout Asia since I was in the military. But as far as COVID is concerned, they don't have the amount of tourists they had before. So they're going to try to finesse as many people as they can out of the money they got. So that's why I said, if you're coming here, don't try any schemes, even from the tourism authority of Thailand. They're still trying to finesse you, So it's best that you talk to somebody here, or you link up with somebody, or even talk to some of the Thai women here, because they'll tell you, hey, don't do that, do this.
Okay. So if I'm, is it? Well, I want to say is it that if you're vaccinated, you think it's worth it, because you only stay in the hotel like one day if you're vaccinated, right?
If you're vaccinated, it is worth it. But like I said, if you're vaccinated and you go to a place like Phuket, everything is closed anyway. So what are you going to do out there? You ain't got nobody to talk to. You ain't got no clubs to go to. You can't eat out. So what are you going to do? You're going to waste your time traveling here, vaccinated. Everything's closed. That's why I said the only province here that's really, truly open is Bangkok. So what are you going to do when you get out here?
So basically, it might not be worth it at this time. Even though they're trying to open it back up, it's just not worth going.
As far as I know, 70% of the nation is vaccinated. But the problem with that is they're mixing vaccines that don't work. They don't have American vaccines. You know what I mean? So like, if you come out here, they're saying, oh yeah, 70% vaccinated. You got to ask them, what vaccine did you take? Not all vaccines have the same efficacy. So you come out here, you know what I mean? It wouldn't, to me, to answer your question, it wouldn't be worth it to come out here until I say March, because you got to think about it. Look at what's happening in Europe right now. It's getting cooler, and the COVID numbers went up. In Thailand, it gets really cool. So guess what? The COVID numbers gonna go up.
Now, have you been hearing any like rumors or anything? Is that why you're saying March? You think it might lighten up by
No,
then?
what I'm saying is, if I were traveling as a vaccinated traveler and I'm
Mm-hmm.
spending money to come here, I'm gonna wait till everything is open until COVID has subsided a little bit. Because you coming
Mm-hmm.
out here spending all this money to travel what 14 hours, 15 hours, and
Mm-hmm.
then you can't do anything. It's like it's not worth it. You better off going to Colombia or Brazil.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, let me ask you this, man. You said that the hotel rooms were super expensive. You said like maybe like $100 a night.
Okay, so if you're doing the sandbox program, they're gonna have you go into the most expensive places. You're talking 7,000 baht. 7,000 baht is like $200, north of $200
Oh wow.
US, right?
Oh wow.
So, but hold on. If you come to Bangkok, you can do Airbnb, but these hotels are cheap anyway. You can
Mm-hmm.
spend what $20, $30 a night in a decent place that's got all the amenities. It's got room service. It's got you can order your meals to your hotel, or you can do the sandbox program. You're gonna end up spending what 7,000 baht. That's $200 a night.
Oh man. And it's a mandatory 7 days, right?
Yes, it's mandatory. So before it was 14 days, then they changed it to 7 days. So it's like if
Mm-hmm.
you come in here, you gotta take that in consideration. You only get 30 days on the visa if you have a U.S. passport. So
Mm-hmm.
that means you waste 7 days out of 30 being quarantined or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's major, man. I really appreciate you coming on the show, bro, and giving us that information because I was reading about it, but I had no boots on the ground, so I was reading different articles. So I really appreciate you coming on the show, telling us that.
No problem, bro.
Yeah, most definitely.
All right, I'm
Life of
out.
Bill, you there, bro?
Yeah, I'm here, bro. What's going on?
Yeah, what's good with you, man? What's good with you?
Nothing much, man. I just came back from the DR. Now I'm up in this
Okay.
in rainy Florida, rainy and
Mhm.
cold, man. So back to reality.
Okay, now when was you using DR like last week?
Yeah, for Halloween weekend.
Okay, now did they ask for vaccine cards to get into the bars and the restaurants out there?
No. I did see them asking Dominicans for vaccine cards when I went to Super Pola, but they
Mm-hmm.
didn't ask one for me. They just kind of scanned my temperature and let me in, but you had to have a mask on. But everywhere else was very very lax. Now
Mm-hmm.
I can't speak for like Santo Domingo or Santiago, but up in the Sioux it was lax. So
Okay. So that's the grocery store, right? You try to they ask you maybe in the grocery store.
yeah, they asked Dominicans, and that didn't even last long because I seen them ask the guy in front of me, but I went there a
Mm-hmm.
couple times during the week, and not everybody was being asked at all. So they just take your temperature and make sure you have a mask on, and that was it.
Okay, and you said as far as the bars and the restaurants, it wasn't asking at all.
No, not the ones I went to anyway.
Okay, man, how is the suit right now, man? Was it popping?
It was
You know
pretty
I love
lit,
the
man.
suit.
It was pretty lit, man. Coming, since this
Mm-hmm.
COVID thing happened, it dropped down. But this last visit, it was a lot of people there, man. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the scene was live. It was nice. I ain't gonna lie. I want to more talk about this. Hopefully, this potential trip to Dubai next year, man. I
Mm-hmm.
have. I don't know if you know Kayla. She be on the travel groups. I got her looking into a possible group trip for us to Dubai. She's supposed to be giving
Okay.
me the information this week, man, and I'm going to present it in the Facebook group. But New Year's Eve in Dubai is nice. I did it a couple years ago for a good BMT group trip. I think it'll be great. So I'm going to pitch it to the group once she gets the information to us.
Okay, and what's going on in Dubai as far as the COVID protocols?
I don't. That's a good question. So that's stuff she's looking into for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's that they're that heavy on the protocols. I've seen a couple like travel or YouTube guys that went to Dubai recently, and I don't think it was. I don't think it's that difficult when you get there. They're not draconian like some of these other like Thailand seems to be. Like bro was just talking about.
Okay. We got my guy Club Filler saying December 1st, bars and clubs will be back open in Thailand and Pattaya. So that might be good news. Um, but they have a lot going on with that sandbox program, man. So as far as the DR, you got to take a PCR test on the way and returning.
No, just leaving. So You have to have the e-ticket deal, and I spoke about that on my YouTube channel. I kind of got held up on that. My first day going, I didn't make my flight because I didn't have the e-ticket filled out. So you gotta have an
explain this what the e-ticket is. I know what it is, but just explain to the audience exactly what the e-ticket is.
So it's basically, you used to be able to fill it out in paper, but now they have everything electronic. And the extra question they put on there is basically, do you have COVID or COVID symptoms? But they want you to have it filled out before you hit the country. They don't want you to be filling it out at the airport.
Like we used to do.
Yes, I really didn't even know nothing about it, man. I get up to American Airlines first. It was a whole story because I'm a priority customer. They had me waiting in line for during an hour in priority. I get up to the front and they're like, "Where's your e-ticket?" I'm like, "What's an e-ticket?" Like, you got to go to this website and fill it out. So I'm on the side trying to fill it out on my Android phone. It ain't going through. I'm telling her like, "Hey, this ticket's not going through." She's like, "Well, it's something you doing." I'm like, "Damn." Right. So after that, I pull out my iPhone. It goes through, but by the time I filled it out, I had missed that barrier to get to the gate to my plane. So I just had to basically eat that. You know what I mean?
And what you call it? Like the next flight?
Next day.
Oh, next day. Oh man. So yeah, what was you at in Miami?
No, I was in Jacksonville going to Miami, and I complained to American Airlines, and they gave me 10,000 miles because I think they were like, as long as you do it before you get there. So I should have been able to do it on a connecting flight, but they was tripping. So.
Yeah, exactly. They do that sometimes, man.
Yeah, they was tripping.
They did that to me on the way to, I believe it was to Colombia or something. Like, I'm like, why can I do it on, in Fort Lauderdale? Why have to do it in Atlanta? I got a whole another 2 hours to do it.
Yeah.
So I have no idea why you do that.
I definitely complained about that. Hey, it is what it is, bro. It's just a life lesson learned. But I just want to get on here and talk about that, bro.
Okay, so real quick,
man, if y'all brothers follow me on YouTube, man, Life of Bill, I definitely appreciate it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll put your channel in the description. But real quick, man, we got some guys in the chat talking about Sosua isn't good when did you first start going to Sosua?
2018.
Okay, so you recently started going there. I remember. Okay,
yeah,
I think that's right around
so
the time I started going.
If you're looking like I'm like probably early, like 2012, 2013, it probably isn't, man. But it was lit this last time. I'm not gonna lie. Like the talent was there, a lot of guys there. It was fun to be had. Now, the price is going up. That's a whole nother conversation. But I do my research beforehand, so I never have to deal with that.
Okay, nice. And so, what's the main club out there now? Because I think Classico's is it open or is it closed now?
I think Classico's is open if I'm not mistaken. I really didn't. I hit the casino, and I hit Ambi one night, but I really didn't hit any clubs per se. I don't know. That's not even my vibe, to be honest with you.
Was Ambi popping?
Yeah, it was popping, man. But like I said, you getting charged a premium. You know what I mean? If you understand.
All right. We don't want to talk about that. All right.
Yeah. So,
but shout out to your channel one more time, man. It's called Life of Bill.
Yeah, LYFEOFBILL. I'm probably gonna try to post a video today, kind of just talking about what I would tell my younger self. But my goal eventually is to leave my corporate job, get out this matrix, and kind of just travel, but not half the year, at least 4 months out of the year. So that's kind of I'm in the transition of doing that now.
So you mentioned it earlier about Dubai. Have you been in other countries besides Dubai and the Dominican Republic?
Yeah, man, I've been to Germany, Paris. I was gonna go to Colombia, but I think I told you about that, man. I kind of changed my mind last second. Mexico. Yeah, I've been around, man.
Okay, nice, man. I heard Germany pretty lit.
It is, man. It's definitely lit. If you're a brother, I would definitely go to Germany. I had my brother; he was stationed there, man. So I kind of was just riding off his coattail a little bit, but it's nice.
Okay. All right, bro. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. Giving us that information.
I appreciate it, bro. Talk to you later, man.
All right, peace. All right, family. So there you go. A lot of good information. We had a guy check in from Thailand. He gave us a lot of good information about that. You heard what's going on in Colombia, and we now know what's going on in the Dominican Republic. So it's a lot of changes going in place. Just got to be aware. The best thing to do is, after you read a few articles, maybe if you can call somebody, or you can ask in the Black Men Travels 2.0 group. You'll definitely find some of the members all over the world that can give you good information before you decide to book your travel. I say do that before you even book a ticket. Make sure that the bars and restaurants are open, especially if you're not vaccinated. If you are vaccinated, still do your due diligence and research to make sure that at least the businesses are going to be open, because sometimes that might not even matter if you can't go anywhere. Or if you're a veteran, if you've been in these places already, you know how to move. Like if I couldn't get into Sosua restaurants and bars or something, I would be perfectly fine because I know how to move out there. I just stay at the villa and I bring the party there. So in certain cases, you still got the matrix. It just depends on really what you want to do. So once again, I appreciate you guys joining me today. Peace.